Let's cross now to Edward Haywood in New Delhi. Edward, what more can you tell us about this expanded defence agreement between India and Britain?
Yeah, so as you said, Boris Johnson was in India today. He was meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi in central Delhi all day long, with as well as Mr. Jaishankar, the External Ministry of and the Ministry of External Affairs. So their talks mainly focused on defense, on energy security and climate change, because one of the main topic of conversation was for the Prime Minister, the British Prime Minister, was the will to bolster the partnership of the UK and India in the indo-pacific partnership, which is really important. The US and the UK talked in March about a tilt to the indo-pacific to make sure that autocracies and nuclear proliferation doesn't happen in this region. So he also said that he would help India to build its own fighter jets in the future, which was a big promise from the UK. And they agreed on a plan to ease the export of British military equipment to India. On the talks were also Ukraine. They've talked about Ukraine a little bit because Prime Minister Johnson promised to not lecture India about the crisis in Ukraine, and they both called for the conflict to be resolved by diplomacy and dialogue, and both asked for an immediate ceasefire.
And as you mentioned there, India, of course, relying heavily on Russian arms and has been neutral on the war in Ukraine. So did this visit have an impact at all on its neutral stance when it comes to Ukraine?
So not for now, because it's important to remember that India's armament is equipped at 60% with Russian-made weapons. So it makes it really difficult for the government of Narendra Modi to move away from this partnership that they have with Russia. But they abstained at the UN Security Council, as you can remember, and they're still buying cheap oil from Russia. So right now it's probably Boris Johnson trying to move the India away from the sphere of influence of Russia, but it's not India saying we'll move away from Russia, because the fact that this visit has been mainly focused on defense is not a coincidence. The UK and the West, the US in particular, have been trying to move India away from Russia, and it didn't work in the beginning. So now Boris Johnson has come to India to try and do it in another way than the US tried a bit before in the year.
Edward Haywood there from New Delhi, thank you.